Welcome, everyone, to another episode of A Principles Voices. I'm Larry Johnson, your host and founder of the A Principles, and I'm delighted to have with me today an individual who has an incredible story. He's going to share it with us. He has a book that I love, and he's doing things that we'd all like to do. And by the way, people tell me that I have a nice broadcast voice. Well, this gentleman, when he opens his mouth, I will not be able to even come close. So, Barry Shore, welcome.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, Larry, how can I make the categorical statement that all the thousands, if not tens of thousands or more people that are watching or listening are all good-looking? Because by definition, if they tuned in to the 8 principles of Larry Johnson, it means they're always looking for and finding the good in life. That's the definition of a good-looking person, looking for and finding the good. And I am deeply humbled and honored to be here with you today to discuss life and
All
the
right.
living of life to the full.
Well, I love that definition of being good looking. If you're looking for the good in life, by definition, um, my maternal grandmother, you'll love this, and bless her soul. She used to say, "When you're 20, you have the face that God gave you. When you're 50, you have the face you deserve."
And when you're 80, you get the face of an angel if you're still walking and functioning and loving.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, it's a delight to have you on here, Barry. And I know we haven't known each other that long, but I'd like you to just to start by telling a little bit about your story, how you came to where you are today, which is an incredible story. And then we're going to be looking at, of course, that story is the instigation of what you do and why you do it. So, can you just tell us a little bit about your story?
I would love to. It all begins with my birth, of course. So a big thank you to my mother and my father. And we'll fast forward a little bit. And one of the things we love to do, Larry, because you and I, we are people who love to discuss and live with principles. So the 3 principles that I espouse and learned from my parents and my mentors are the following. If you live these 3, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Number 1 is to know that your life has a purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. In this case, a good number 2. You go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. You live a purposeful-driven life and make a difference in the world. And the 3rd is to unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, right now, our show, if you would call it, is being carried around the world on the internet. Ask anybody, what does WW stand for? Invariably, it has to do with the internet. Now, factually speaking, they're correct. In our world, Larry, the world of positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? And of course, whenever you hear the opening bars of that song, What a Wonderful World, your big tip of the hat to Satchmo, Louis Armstrong.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do? You can't help but you smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. So I'm going to tell you the story. Imagine, if you can, me. I'm standing up in the morning. I'm 55 years of age. Standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, my neck down, not from an automobile accident, not a spinal injury. It was a rare disease, which I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me what's called a quadriplegic, which means nothing from my neck down, moved, nothing. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles for years, and that was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. I've helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice, positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. And all because of this one word, smile, seeing miracles in life every day. Now I can tell you, I am honored to be able to speak with in person with sometimes large groups. Recently, I spoke to a group of 1,127 people. And I'm telling the story about Barry Shore and seeing miracles in life every day. And some people raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, Barry Shore. I've been out for hours, I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water to drink? Do you have food to eat? Do you have a place to sleep? Do you have family or friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. A miracle, Larry. And what's the proof? Simple as proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. So by definition, if you're watching or you're listening, you have an obligation to live life to the full. So I'll tell you one cute thing that happened to me a few weeks ago. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me and she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile, smile, sound the same. Why not? I asked her how come. She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of an 8-year-old, Larry. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. So that's what I want to talk about, because I've been through what people call stuff. I'm now 75 chronologically. So I was a quadriplegic for years. I am still at the point where I can't get up from this chair. I'm still paralyzed from the waist down. Thank God my upper body has regained a lot of my abilities. I still can't close my hands, as you see. And to make the story wonderful, and it's not incredible, it's fully credible, I learned how to swim. In the course of gaining back function, I was doing what's called aquatic therapy. Put me in the pool, people moving me around and stuff like that. Over the course of years, I'll make the story very short. I learned how to do a backstroke. Now I have to use devices on my legs to keep it from sinking. And I use paddles on my hands because my fingers don't close. And then I learned how to be on my tummy and swim a crawl. And I use a snorkel.
Oh, wow.
And from a guy who was a quadriplegic, I
You know,
now swim.
I swim for exercise. So you're using hand paddles and what they call a buoy that goes between your legs.
Elbows, right? And I have stuff on my legs so they don't sink, floaty devices. And I use a snorkel. I swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week.
That
And every
is that's
morning,
72 laps of an Olympic pool, Barry. Yeah. Yeah. That's 72 laps of a 25-yard pool. All right.
right,
Um,
without stopping.
that's work. That's
Yeah,
real work, Barry. I
that's,
mean,
that's word. That's the 4-letter word ending with K. Yes.
I can swim a mile, and I do breaststroke and crawl, but and then I use the fins some with a kickboard. But 2 miles. I mean, how long does it take you to do that, Barry?
100 minutes,
100 minutes?
100 minutes without stopping. And the beauty also, Larry, and this is something, I just made a video. Let me see. We're in the month of April, just to put this in context. April of the year 2024. So those of you who will be watching or listening to this 100 years from now, you can enjoy it still. So it was February of this year, because I record every half mile, mile, 2 miles that I've been doing it since the time I started swimming. As of February of 2024, I swam 9,501 miles.
Wow.
And I made a video of that, and I do that every so often. It's about a 55-second video. And I made the video, said, wow, wonderful, isn't this great? I just did that. I'm not swimming for me. Yes, of course it helps me. Exercise, work, it makes me strong and healthier. I do it for all the people in the world who say, I can't. Oh, I can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Part of the genius and the wonderfulness of the 8 principles is that it empowers you to do things, to break through, to recognize that the limits you set are your own, and therefore they're not there, they're not real. And we all know, I think, Larry, you'll love this the most. I know you did it purposely. The number 8, when you put it on its side, of course, instead of being vertical, horizontal, is the sign for infinity.
Mm-hmm. It is. It
Right?
is.
Because we are infinite beings. Matter of fact, one of the great acronyms that I love, the word for life. Life stands for living inspirationally for eternity. We're not here just for the now. The now is great. It's wonderful. We all love to breathe. We love to eat. We love to sing. We love to dance, to be with friends and family, and to help be benefit in the world. We all know that we're doing this because we are eternal beings. There is a creator.
Oh,
There is
yeah.
a plan and a purpose. We're part of it.
Yes. Well, you're coming up to, we just celebrated Easter, and now we're coming up to Passover very soon. Um, and I think it's fascinating how those two holidays, the timing of them is determined. It's phases of the moon and the calendar and everything else, and often they coincide. But now these were separated by a month this year.
Well, it's interesting you say, I won't go into detail. I will tell everybody that's listening two data points. One data point is the following. You should look this up just because it's so much fun. The Greek Orthodox Church, Christians, and the Russian Orthodox Church, Christians, never changed their calendar to become a Gregorian calendar, which was done some 600 plus years ago
That's
by
right.
Pope Gregory. They said, well, that's nice. You're a pope. We're over here. We have our own rules.
We
They
do
never
our own thing over here.
by the Julian calendar. So the Julian calendar, Greek Orthodox and Russian Orthodox, which is hundreds of millions of people, they tie everything by law, by tradition, by law, everything that relates to Passover. Easter must come on the first Sunday after Passover, which occurs on the full moon. So this year, it's on May 8th.
Okay, so
Now, in most years, Passover and most all the rest of Christianity will coincide, as you said. The Jewish calendar is remarkable. It's genius. It was put together in what we call the 4th century of the Common Era, because prior to that it had been done by sighting on the moon, and it's both a lunar and a solar calendar. I won't get into the details, but suffice it to say, it runs on a 19-year cycle. And every so often, an extra month is inserted in the Jewish calendar. So you're so observant, Larry Johnson. One of the reasons we love Larry is because he's so inquisitive, and he knows and he observes and does things. So you're exactly right. It's an extra month this year in the Hebrew calendar, and that's why Passover and Easter for the rest of the world on the Gregorian calendar are about a month off. But they're not off, they're just different times. But generally speaking, it will always be the first Sunday after Passover. And Passover, of course, is that time of the ultimate rejuvenation in the world. It was mandated by God in the Bible that Passover must happen in the springtime. It must. That's the calendar when it was formulated in the 4th century. The great wise people who put it together understood that you anchor the calendar with the springtime.
mhm.
That's what the book said. Passover must happen in the springtime. So it's all based on that. It's a wonderful thing. And again, it all goes to infinity, the number 8 because 8 is beyond 7, and everything we do in our lives, Larry, Barry, and all the people listening, because this show is not about Barry Shore, nice guy that he is, or Larry Johnson, great fellow that he is. It's about you becoming the best you possible, because when you're the best you make the world a better place. So the reason that I am known in the world as the ambassador of joy. Now, notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. It's the ambassador of joy, because joy is exhilaration, right, Larry? Joy is an expansion. Joy is a great acronym that stands for Journey of You. That's what joy is. Journey of You.
Let me bring something up to you. I don't know if you know this or not. I was listening to a podcast, I guess it's been a couple of weeks, with Jordan Peterson, and he was interviewing, I believe, forget which archbishop of the Catholic Church, but they were talking about the difference between joy and happiness. All right, joy is something that comes from within. Yes. And happiness is a temporary condition, and that happiness is can actually be addictive. This was another psychologist. Can be addictive to keep you from experiencing something deeper. I thought
Okay.
that was fascinating when they were
You are
talking.
so prescient and so wonderful. So you love my book. So you were using this as a segue into my book, The Joy of Living. You deserve it.
Yeah,
So three things about the book.
here it
Number
is.
one, the book, oh, there it is. For those of you seeing it, it's a great cover. It's a great book. It's not just informational, which it is. It's not just inspirational, which it is. It's transformational. And it's available to people who are watching this at no cost. I'll tell you why, as an ebook. Just go to my website. May I announce my website?
Yeah, can you say it? Your
Yeah,
website?
barryshore.com. BARRYSHORE.com. Go to barryshore.com and you'll find the ability to get the book at no cost. So here's why. We sell it for $14.95 as an ebook. But there's a couple, a wonderful couple, that donated the money to distribute 10,000 copies for free because they believe in the process. Now let me go, because I mentioned in the book, let me go deeply into what you just said, Larry. It's worth a few minutes exploration. And in the book, I discuss, and in my life, I discuss, and when I do my webinars and seminars, I discuss it. And it's the unique, everybody knows this, the distinction between excitement and enthusiasm. So, what is excitement? Simple example. Take a pot of water, take a pot, fill it with water, put it on the stove, gas stove. I'm only making fun. Turn up the heat and watch the water bubble and boil. Let me really turn it up until it gets to a boiling point. And what do you see? The water boiling and excited and doing things, right? Now, if you remove the pot from the heat or you turn the heat down, what's going to happen? Well, by definition, the water is going to calm down again, right? Because the word excite is two words, comes from the Greek, and then by extension of the Latin. CITE means an event, and EX means outside. So it's an outside event causing stimulation, right? Excitement. Go to a sporting event, or you're watching something, and this is happening. Yeah, wow. You remove that X factor. Okay, there you go. Watch enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is also two words, enthuse. THU is the Greek for God. EN, it means inner. Enthusiasm means you have God inside of you. God is always there. You can always call up your enthusiasm. It never goes away. That's why joy is related to enthusiasm. The great song, Ode to Joy, comes from the inside. That's what song is about. That's what dance is about.
Yeah.
That's enthusiasm. So we want to urge people, first of all, to understand the distinction and to begin the process of what we call shift perspective into enthusiasm, into joy. That's the title of my other new book I just published a couple of months ago called Oh Shift. And as I say, 97.2% of all the people I begin working with drop the F and shift, and the other stuff happens. So you got to be careful with your F's. It's O shift your perspective just a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Everything opens up. Then you can internalize, utilize, and leverage the six most important words you'll ever know. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How
Sure.
you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path in life and the trajectory. I was a quadriplegic overnight. I
No.
can tell you, I have a great, can I share an interesting story?
Yes, please.
So it happened, it was about 3 weeks into the process. Now, again, I'm just protoplasm. People pick me up, move me around. I can't do anything. I could barely speak above a whisper. Everything was compromised. And there was one particular nurse who was moving me and doing some testing. I remember it was a late in an afternoon. It was around October of that year. The year was 2004. And he's bringing me back. There was a male nurse. He's bringing me back to my room on the gurney. And he stops in the hallway and he leans down and he said, Mr. Shore, may I ask you a personal question? He'd been taking care of me now for 3-4 days. And I answered, I could barely speak. He said, look, this is what I do for a living. I deal with people who are paralyzed. And I've never met anybody who's not bitter and angry. How come you're not bitter and angry? And I realized, Larry, he was asking me the great existential question, which is, why, God? Why did you do this to me?
Oh, yeah.
But that's not what I was asking. I was asking, God, I'm just a regular guy. What am I supposed to do? I wasn't bitter or angry. I'm here. I'm here to serve. What am I supposed to do now? And I can tell you something, Larry Johnson, and everybody listening. At that moment, I was 55 years of age. I had never felt such calm, such peace in my life at that moment. I had no idea if I ever move again, let alone walk, let alone swim 2 miles a day.
Absolutely.
I was there to serve. It was a major shift for me.
That is. Yeah, he was asking the existential question. He was, and you were definitely the exception and not the rule. And here you are, losing all your mobility, totally dependent on others. And it wasn't what you would have chosen, but you did choose to move forward from it.
Right.
You see, there's the difference. I'm sure you're aware of the former SEAL Jocko Willink, and he just says, "Well, just get out there and do it. Don't just lie around and do whatever." And he also has been interviewed by Jordan Peterson a couple of times, and of course, Jocko's this huge guy, and at one point, Peterson says, "Jocko, I think you could have been a really good criminal, couldn't you?" and Willick says, "Yes, I could have. He could have been he could have been the danger, not just the dangerous, And there's a very big difference. But he talks about making those specific choices. You make these choices, and I believe you're going to have to make sure I'm right on this. It's Aristotle. I don't think it's Plato. I think it's Aristotle that said, as a well-lived or successful life is the result of a series of good choices. Every time you come to a place, you make the right choice as you move through life. And and yet, Barry, how many times do we see in the popular media and people, that they believe that life is acting on them. They're not acting on life.
So, Larry, this is so important. One of my recent communications, I have something called Dinner with Barry, which people are welcome to sign up for. It's free. Thank God many thousands of people enjoy reading it every week. Short, and it's my thoughts for the week and such. And recently I wrote, the title was 2x4, TOBYFOR. And then I talked about what a 2x4 is and how you get attention, when building and such. The shift, as you just mentioned so beautifully, the shift from thinking, why did God or this happen to me, and shift that thinking, why is this happening for me? Mm-hmm. What can I learn from this? What can I do with this? How can I utilize this, leverage this in my life so that it's better for me? And when it's better for me, it's better for my family, my friends, and literally the whole world. And therefore, you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? And it's a shift of one letter. You go from two letters, T-O, to 4, F-O-R. Why is this happening for me? And there's a smile on your face. And by the way, you're talking about sometimes easy situations, somebody cuts you off on traffic. You don't have traffic where you live, of course, but sometimes traffic. Or where, why you're in the line and it's at the airport and the plane is delayed, and just being able to maintain and choose the greatest gift in for a human being
Mhm.
is the gift of free will. The gift of free will directly from God.
You
The
can,
one without to get too religious was just stay religious enough. Free will. I choose how you choose to respond in any given situation. I was a quadriplegic overnight. Hello,
mhm.
I sleep 2 hours a day. Was that easy? No.
No,
I won't tell you some of the things I can't do right now. And it has to do with very personal bodily things because I still can't move around. It takes me 10 minutes to get out of bed in the morning. But guess what, Larry? I get out of bed in the morning.
that's right.
I couldn't do that for years. For years. My focus was I'm gonna sit up and put my feet over the edge of the bed. Years.
Something that most of us take purely for granted, and we don't use it. When you were talking about how to, how people respond to things, I was in my mind, I was going back to, oh, this was a number of years ago, and I was coming home from New York, and I was at LaGuardia Airport, and it was in the spring, and then one of these sort of flash snowstorms came through, and it essentially balled up the whole mess and shut down the airport for about 45 minutes. Well, you can imagine what that did to all the flight schedules. Well, hey, it happens. I hope I get there tonight. We're going to get there whenever. But there was this man there, and he was just beating and berating on this gate agent, this lady, like she could control the weather, for heaven's sakes. And he was demanding that they put him on that plane. I'm going, I almost wish they would and let him go. I mean, but like, would you
Yeah.
really want to be? Is it that important to you? I mean, I
So
could.
this is the genius of being able to witness things rather than have them happen in your own for yourself. When you see how others respond, you say, I don't want to respond that way. You choose not to. So let's talk about something also very wonderful. And one of the reasons we're together is because out of what others would call, in quotation marks, tragedy, something remarkable, wonderful, and beneficial to the whole world is happening. And that's a quick story that happened with my wife challenged me on something. We were somebody when I was completely paralyzed. Had a solicitation. People wanted to raise money for wheelchairs. It was called Wheels for the World. My wife comes in, asks, but whispers, "Can we give some money? I want to give $500 to help raise money." I said, "Okay." I could barely speak. Thank God we had the money. I know what wheelchairs are like. I had three, and they cost over $14,000 total. Not everybody has that kind of money. A good wheelchair could cost $2,000, $3,000, lightweight, et cetera, et cetera. So
Well, I bought one for my mother when she became non-ambulatory. They're pricey, Barry. It's
yeah,
it's one of those things. It's whatever you want to pay.
yeah, you have an electric one. That's 10 grand plus. So here's the amazing thing. I said to my wife, I have this vision because I think I've been very successful in business, built two companies that we sold public exits. I have 3 issued patents. I've done some stuff. I've made stumbles too. Hello, human being. I said, I want to find a way where people can go shopping and earn money or give money to something they care about. It doesn't cost anybody a penny. That was my just speaking. And she looked at me and says, "Well, you're smart. Figure it out." She walked out of the room. Now you got to understand, I'm a quad. I'm there anyway, just protoplasm. And I meditated on this for at least 3 days, at least. And finally, something came to me. Now I will fast forward. It took at least a decade for what I was imagining for the tech to be able to do what I was imagining. And we went through several iterations, but suffice it to say, the mission is the following: to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny, and people make money at the same time. And how do you do it? With the most fun thing in the world: shopping.
Wait,
Everybody loves shopping.
when you said that, the way you put it, you know, the immediate response someone would likely have is, okay, is it illegal or immoral?
Oh, and this is the genius of it. Thank you, because it didn't come from me. It came through me, not from me. Big, right? That's the difference.
Yes.
Didn't come from me. It came through me, not from me. Neither illegal, neither immoral. And I'll give you an illustration, because this is the year 2024. Again, just dating if you're watching this a century from now. In the year 2014, there was something called the Ice Bucket Challenge. There
Oh,
was something,
yes.
right? Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
People putting ice water over their head, taking a video, sending it to other people, and challenging them to do the same thing and raise money. So 17 million people participated. They raised $137 million in a few months for ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and it was really tremendous and helpful. I call that philanthrotainment, which
Hmm.
is the combination of philanthropy and
Yep.
entertainment.
Yep.
So our platform, which I've been building for the past 4.5 years with a wonderful, amazing, dedicated team of professionals who also are part of the vision, is called Einstein Cares. Now it's named for that genius guy, the white hair sticking out, the smartest guy in the world for the past 100 years, who was also a very heart-centered person, a very caring person. And so we call it Einstein Cares, because what do? We combined people being smart and good. So imagine we partner with businesses that sell directly to customers, that give and allocate a percentage for us sending them customers. Because every business in the history of the world, from the beginning of time, only wants two things: keep my existing customers and acquire new ones. Duh, that's business. So we do that and we say, okay, business. So it gives you an example. We have over 18,000 restaurants that have just signed up on the platform. And obviously take months to integrate all this, but and the platform is launching, God willing, in the middle of May, end of April, middle of May. And these restaurants allocate 2% cash back to you, the user, when you go in the restaurant, and 2% to the charity of your choice, not my choice, not the restaurant choice. And we have merchants like that, from Amazon to Wayfair, and we have helping charities that everybody knows, the huge ones and the little ones. Whether you have 100 people, 100,000, a million, 5 million. Einstein Cares is a mechanism that can raise money for a charity, and we build something called an ecosystem of good. Why? Because everybody wants to go to a business. Let's say you go to the restaurant, Larry, and take out a number of friends, and the bill comes and it's $222.44. They're on the system, you're on the credit, it's your credit card. Nothing changes for you, nothing changes for them. We're just talking to each other. Swipe your card, you walk out, and the magic happens. So you just earned 2%, you got $4.44, and you just gave 2%, $4.44 to the charity of your choice. How do you feel?
Pretty good.
Right. Would you tell anybody about the restaurant and about Einstein? Of course. And the benefit for the charity, this is where it gets so good. People think that charities want money. Well, of course they want money. What every charity really wants is ongoing, passive, monthly revenue. So imagine just going shopping at places you already go shopping at, whether it's Nike, it's Macy's, it's Home Depot, it's Albertsons, Kroger, on and on. Thousands of brands. You go shopping there and you earn money for you. Everybody likes to earn money. I'm smart. And you give me money, something you care about. I'm good, smart and good, smart and good, right? And now what happens? Ecosystem of good. The charity nonprofit says, oh, we urge everybody, go use the Einstein Cares because you're going to give us money, it won't cost you anything. So the system of good is the merchant gets people coming because they're getting rewarded on two levels. I earn something, I give something. I make something, I'm the user. The nonprofit, the charity makes something because they're getting money at no cost. And the business gains better customers. You turn your customers into ambassadors. Everybody wins. This came out of the fact that I used to be a quadriplegic.
So, how long have you been working on this platform, Barry? When did you start?
I had the vision a good 18 years ago, been working on the platform, building this for about 4.5 years because the tech wasn't there
Yeah.
to integrate all this tech. Because when a merchant signs up, they're giving us basic information about who they are, where they're located, et cetera, et cetera. When you sign up, you're signing up your existing credit card. Nothing changes. So the, the transfer of information in real time, that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it wasn't there until just a couple of years ago. And now it's here. And now we can do it. There's no other site on the internet, Larry Johnson. None at the moment where you can go shopping at these brands, earn money for you, give money to something you care about, and it all happens.
Okay. So
And see,
is the website einsteincares.com?
absolutely. Go to einsteincares.com, sign up now for early access. So when we launch, you'll know about it. So we urge all the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people listening. Einstein Cares, like Albert Einstein, Einstein Cares, CARES.com. Sign up now, see the mission. And if you're a business and you want to be involved, we welcome businesses, local, regional, national. We love business. We love driving to business. I love business. I'd like to say one little quick story about my father and growing up back east in a snowstorm, since you mentioned a snowstorm. So when I was growing up, and I'm even older than you, Larry, uh, we didn't have the internet. And when it was a real snowstorm in Boston, Massachusetts, which happens every once in a while,
Yeah.
you know, you get over 7 inches of snow up to a foot. One time you listen to the radio and they called off school. So you can only do a couple of things. You can go back to bed, you play games, or for me, I wanted to go out and shovel snow. Now it's cold out and there's lots of snow. And I had to bundle up and earmuffs and all that sort of stuff and gloves and rubber boots and my shovel. And I'm going out at 8:15 in the morning. Now, at the time, I was making 25 cents for allowance. So I wanted to make money. I'm 9 years old, 9 years old, enterprising, right?
Yes.
And I start knocking on doors on the street, shovel walkways, driveways, et cetera, et cetera. I learned a lot of lessons. Well, suffice it to say, I didn't come back home until it was dark. And that was 5:18, 5:20 in the evening. Dark. And I hadn't eaten. Because I'm 9 years old, I just went on doing stuff. I made $55.
That's
I was
incredible.
25 cents was my allowance. I had to work for that. $55 in what, 1957.
Well,
Huge money.
that's 2 grand now.
Okay.
All right.
When I came back, my father made me a big mug of hot chocolate. I don't mean powder, I mean hot chocolate. It was great stuff. And he said to me, my dear beloved son, he used to love saying that. My dear beloved son, how do you spell business? Business. That's right. Notice that the U comes before the I. What you just learned today was whenever you take care of the other, the you, your I will always be taken care of. In business, it's about service. Am I right, Larry? It's about service.
Yes.
Give service, you'll always be taken care of. Einstein Cares is about business. It's about the business of service. Smart business people understand that. I don't care if you own one store and it's a garment cleaning place or a nail salon, or you own 100 stores. The best thing in the world is service. You'll always be taken care of. And you go into Einstein Cares, there's no risk, there's no obligation. You don't pay anything till you sell something. Isn't that amazing? You
Mhm.
know, what's going to happen? Somebody buys something. We love local business. We love business. We want to help businesses. We want to help charities. We want to be of service in this world. This is my legacy. EinsteinCares.com. Giving $1 billion to charity won't cost anybody a penny. You make money, you have fun. We put the fun back in fundraising.
You are definitely what I would call the prophet of abundance, Barry.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you are definitely that. Um, and one of the things that I struggle with is I often uh, deal with nonprofits who, unfortunately, come at their finances with an attitude of um, scarcity. And it's so self debilitating, is what it is. And yeah, and that influences not only in their mental outlook, how they allocate their funds, how they treat people that they're investors, and that's what I call donors. They're investing. And I like what you said. I wish I could use the same thing with fundraising. It's not spelled the same, but business, the U before the I. I tell nonprofits, if you put your donors before yourself, you will never ever have to worry about funds. Never, never. And there is so much money that's there that's just not being tapped. It's just sitting out there. Um,
Right.
and I used to I would you hear this all the time on, it used to be the 6 o'clock news. All right, well, there's more and more competition for scarce philanthropic dollars, and I just wanted to say BS. That is just not true. And now you say you grew up in Boston.
Yes, sir.
Well, there was a man
I can still do the accent.
yeah, I don't know if he's still living or not, but there was a man by the name of Paul Schervish, Schervish, and he was at Boston College, and he was at the Boston College Center for Wealth. And he was a researcher, and he determined through research that philanthropy as an econometric variable is elastic. There is no fixed number, and that the driving variable of that is engagement of the investor. That's what determines how much is available. Like, hello.
Right. And by the genius of what you just said is, Larry, and what Paul discovered is that, and that's why I told you about philanthrotainment. There's nothing more entertaining than shopping. And if you can combine philanthropy with shopping, a quick example, and I know our time is at the moment is short. Um, I was discussing on one of my webinars with a group of people who run nonprofits and such, and one of the ladies mentioned, because she saw that we have Macy's, one of the brands, and Macy's pays 4% to the user and 4% to the charity. She says, my husband is a Macy's addict. If he can't spend $500 every quarter at Macy's, something's wrong with him.
Call the doctor.
Look at that. $500. He just earned $20 for him, and he just gave $20 to the charity we love. And by the way, he uses his Macy's card. Barry, can you use his Macy's card and get all the benefits? I said, oh, hello. It's all based on stacking, like you just said. People have a scarcity mindset. No, this is abundance mindset. If you get 2% anyway, you're going to get more. Whatever you have, everything we do at Einstein Cares is about more. It's about bringing abundance. It's about bringing benefit. It's about bringing you as a channel of goodness. Again, just think small even. I'm not to think in, construction, but you have 1,000 supporters of a particular cause. And if you're always asking for money, okay, you only get a few people listening or giving. Now, if you say, here's a link, we don't want your money, go shopping. Go shopping. Click here, go shopping. People will do, let's say you have 1,000 people who earn, pick a small number, $10 a month. They made $10 and they gave you $10. Well, $10 a month, 1,000 people, that's $10,000 a month, Larry. Ongoing, monthly, passive revenue.
Or the old term that we're familiar with, mailbox money.
Woo! I love it. Imagine a healthy charity with just 1,000 supporters getting mailbox money of $10,000 a month. It's a game changer.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. Wow. Barry, this has been delightful. I've really enjoyed this more than ever. If someone wanted to reach out to you, how would they contact you?
You can contact me in 3 ways. One is to go to barryshore.com and get a copy of one of my books as an ebook and sign up for the newsletter. The other way is you can reach out to go to einsteincares.com, sign up. You can even email me if you're a business owner, if you're involved with a nonprofit, you want to learn more, email me directly, Barry, Barry, at einsteincares.com. Barry at einsteincares.com.
All right. Well, you can't get any simpler than that.
No, we love simple.
Yes, we love simple. Simple is best. Simple
Yeah.
is best.
If it's fast and it's easy, frictionless and seamless, it has to be something that I would do. I like Einstein Cares because I would do this. If it has to be, oh well, I got to think. No thinking, just go and enjoy.
Oh, everyone, we've been having a delightful conversation, Barry and I, in the last few minutes. And I've learned a lot, by the way. And I hope Barry's learned a few things. And I hope that you, as the audience, are learning and are inspired to be positive and to choose. So I want to thank you, Barry, for taking your time to do this.
You're welcome, Larry. Let's do two things. Let's do a hug and a blessing. Can we give a big hug to ourselves and the whole audience?
Yes.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for. HUG. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Count to three. One, two, three. And our blessing from Larry Johnson, Barry Shores, go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference.
Thank you, Barry.
Welcome, Larry.